Hello friends, I'm Tim Wildsmith, and in this video we're going to be taking a closer look at the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible. It's a really unique edition of the Bible that happens to be one of my favorite King James Bibles. So a couple of years ago, I went to Cambridge. I visited with Amanda and Abigail at the Cambridge University Bookshop. I had a really great time with them. I wrote about that on BibleReviewBlog.com. And one of the projects we talked about was this, the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible. I was kind of familiar with it. It's a Bible that's been out for over 15 years. They got a new cover for it that they had just updated when I was there. But I also, while I was there, I bought a book written by David Norton, who also edited this Bible. And I fell in love with this book. It's called the King James Bible, A Short History from Tyndale to Today. I read this in the Oxford University Library. So I took a book from Cambridge back over to the Bodleian Libraries at Oxford in the Radcliffe Camera, my most favorite building in the city of Oxford. And I read this book and I really loved it. I love the history of English Bible translations. I've kind of geeked out about that the last couple of years. And this book was really fun to read. I love that it has the Cambridge University Press Bookshop price sticker on it. And I have a couple of bookmarks in here that are from the Cambridge University Press Bookshop. So that's really fun. But really loved the writing that David did for this. Loved the history. And then I started investigating this Bible more. Quickly bought a copy of it. And it's become one of my favorite King James Version Bibles. So the concept of this Bible is David Norton, a professor, a scholar, started to do a deep dive into the King James Bible. He spent 10 years studying the King James Bible and all of its updates, all of the little nuances and fixes that have happened over the years. If you're not familiar with this, like when you buy a King James Bible today, you're not buying the same thing that was first released back in 1611. It's been updated and tweaked, and errors have been fixed and unfixed, and a lot of the ones we use now are kind of dating back to like the 1700s or even the 1800s. So he went back and looked at all of that, all of the research, all of the variants, all of that stuff. And his goal was to try to get a translation of the King James that was as close to what the original authors, those original translators, intended back when they released it in 1611. A really monumental task. And he talks a lot about that in this book a little bit, in some other writings. There's a really great interview with Randy Brown from Bible Buying Guide, one of my fellow Bible reviewers out there. I'll put a link to the interview he did with David Norton on his website. Really insightful to hear about. I'm not really doing justice. I mean, he obviously did 10 years, a decade's worth of work to produce this. So there's a couple things I like about it. One, it's really trying to get back to the original intent of that 1611 team. But then two, almost antithetical to that mission, it's a modern layout of the Bible. Single column, paragraph format. There's verse numbers, but they're really small. It's got modernized spelling and punctuation because he really wanted it to feel like it flowed really well. I think for David Norton, he probably thinks that treatment of the text really honors the legacy and the original intent, which I think is really cool. So there's two things I love about this. I love the story behind it, the history of it, the aim of the project. I love that when I pick this Bible up, I feel like, oh, I'm kind of getting back to what they were trying to aim for in 1611. And then two, when I open this Bible up, I love the typesetting, right? Single column, inside references, designed or printed and bound by Lego in Italy. Like there's a lot that I love about this Bible just from like sitting down and reading it. So it's a unique project, but I think it's something that a lot of people, if you're interested in the history of the Bible, that it's worth having one of these in your Bible library to reach for and to kind of interact with the 1611 translators in a really unique way, and edited by David Norton, who just did a really cool job with this project. So that's kind of the overall look at this Bible. I am now going to do an overhead and kind of walk you through this Bible so you can see what it looks like, but I'm a big fan of this. So before we dive in, hit that like button if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. This is the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible. Okay, here's the Bible on the right and that book on the left, the King James Bible, A Short History from Tyndale to Today. Really great little book. There you see the Cambridge University Press sticker on the back of it. I'll put a link to this in the video description if you'd like to check that out. Great little kind of history of the Bible, at least the Bible in English. There's the Bible itself, the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible. This is the new slipcase, the newer one. I believe it's King's College, Cambridge, that's the chapel at. You see, this is the edition with the Apocrypha, so it comes with and without, edited by David Norton. There it is on the side. And you have the information on the back. All of that stuff on there. Yeah, there it says, King's College Chapel. I was right. If you take the slipcase off, it's kind of this gray, marbled, hardcover. Has more of a classic Cambridge look on the side of the spine. As far as size goes, hardcover, the whole thing is 6 inches wide. It's 8.5 inches tall, and it's almost 2 inches thick. It's about 1.75 inches thick. So they make this in a calfskin edition as well, but this hardcover edition is really nice. If we open this up, you see the title pages. Here is the copyright page. There you see, printed and bound by Lego in Italy. This is that personal size edition, so it's 87% of the original. So the original was a 10-point type, so this is going to be an 8.7 typeface. This was printed in 2019, but it's the revised edition from 2011, so they have some revisions that they did after the original 2005. So you do have a great introduction here. From David Norton. I recommend you read this. It kind of tells more about the project. There's a note on the revised edition. He also went through the process of translating the epistle dedicatory and the translators to the reader. So you have all of that, kind of his version of that. Remains very faithful to the original. After that, we get into, well, there you have your book order and then your text. So you see right there, a really nice single column, 8.7 point Swift typeface, and it's going to be interior margin translator notes. So these are the translator notes from the 1611 Translation Committee. As far as I can tell, there's going to be a little bracketed information when he's added information, or it's from outside that. But I like this because it pushes the text out to here. Very, very clean. You notice that the chapter numbers jump off the page, but the verse numbers do not. Verse numbers are very small, superscripts in there. But you can see it's really nicely printed. This front page here, for some reason, is not line matched to the other side, but I looked at a lot of other places inside this Bible before I reviewed it and noted that the lining up on one side of the page was much better, so it's not super distracting. As you can see, I'm just kind of standing above this. Pretty easy to read. It flows really well. So it's a single column. It is paragraph format, which is unlike the original King James Version, which was a verse-by-verse indented individual paragraphs for each verse. All of those notes are on the inside margin, which pushes the text outside of the gutter. For a Bible that's almost 2 inches thick, that's really helpful to get the text more to the middle of the page. As I noted, he uses modern spelling and punctuation as, and I think that really fits just the look and the design of this. To me, you open this up, and this feels like a very modern typeface, right? But then when you start to read it, you realize that it's King James language. He did not modernize the words and things like that, just the punctuation and the spellings and things like that. So it still has that King James feel to it when you're reading it, which I think is really, really helpful. So again, there's versions with and without the Apocrypha, so that comes here. There's a separate section right there. And then we get into the New Testament. Everything is very much, oh, that's Maccabees. We get into the New Testament. Everything is very much the same. So let me pull this up and let you just kind of take a look at it. Really nice typesetting, right? I mean, it just makes for a really nice read. Again, I grab this when I want to kind of read from that classic King James language in my office and things like that. But I think it's a really beautifully designed Bible on the inside, and that project, nothing at the end, just go straight to the end of the Bible. There's a few different editions of this out there, like Penguin Classics, I think, has an edition and stuff like that. But Cambridge, this is really, really lovely. Looks very nice. And the whole process of him doing all that research and getting ready to do this, I thought is really, really worth having. So there you have it, the new Cambridge Paragraph Bible from Cambridge Bibles, edited by David Norton. I'm going to put a link to this in the video description. I'm also going to put a link to this book. I really like it. Really small, easy to read book. Great history from Tyndale, the original English translations of the Bible, all the way to today. A really cool story. If you're interested in this, I would definitely encourage you to check it out and add it to your Bible library. If you have any questions, please drop those in the comments. If you have one of these and you enjoy reading from it, I'd love to hear from you in the comments as well. As always, I'm going to put links in the description of this video to Instagram and Facebook. We're having a great time on social media with Bible Review Blog, so I'd love for you to join me there if you haven't already. Once again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of great Bible-related content here on YouTube, some Bible reviews, unboxing videos. I'm having a lot of fun. If you already are subscribed, click that join button and find out what it means to be a member here on my channel. I got a lot of people who are having a lot of fun with membership these days. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.